where there's just 4 days to go before Saturday's poll. 6 parties are contesting, including President Barrow's National People's Party, the NPP. Focus on Africa's Esau Williams will be presenting a special edition of the programme tomorrow from Banjul. But now this evening he joins us with a bit of news, sad news should I say, Esau, about the smaller parties.
Indeed, Bola, and yes, as you say, we're in the Gambia to cover the presidential election of 2021, and it does matter to Gambians because it's the first presidential poll since the end of the Jammeh era. But the game is up before it's even begun for one of the small parties and the more interesting ones in this election. The reverberations are continuing to be felt after the Citizens Alliance, one of the newer parties, was denied yet again the right to contest the election because they did not have the required amount of signatures to register from this poll. So the denial came from the Independent Electoral Commission despite 2 court orders, and I've just been speaking to the leader of the Citizens Alliance. His name is Ismaila Cisse. He gave this reaction to the latest setback for his party.
We submitted, indeed, those fresh nomination papers to the IEC, but we got a letter from the IEC that we did not comply with the court order because we are supposed to submit the previously submitted papers. We believe that the IEC is in contempt of court order, and we have instructed our lawyers to commence contempt proceedings against the IEC chairperson.
But whatever the outcome, I mean, this is the end for you politically, isn't it?
Not the end politically. We are not in politics for the short term for these elections. We are in politics for the long term. We have the National Assembly elections coming. We have the local government elections coming. Politically, it's not the end. If we say for this election, yes, perhaps, but not politically.
So you've alluded that this is the end for you politically this time around, not necessarily in the future. I take that. Are you going to throw your weight around any particular party? Who do you fancy at the moment?
Well, the party, Citizens Alliance as a party, released a statement yesterday saying that the party will neither endorse nor form an alliance with any political party.
Well, why not?
Well, that is the position of the party. We did an assessment, we looked at all the different options available, and then we consulted widely within the party. There seemed to be consensus there that the best thing for the party moving forward is not to endorse anybody because there are so many vested interests.
So consensus notwithstanding, I mean, people would say that this is a typical example of Citizens Alliance taking their toys and walking home, that, you know, you're just basically sore losers. You don't want to put your weight around any particular party, at least even in the interest of national unity, showing that, you know, you're bigger than politics.
Well, CA is credited to be the party that initiated a grand coalition talks a couple of months ago. That was in the national interest. We decided to suppress our political ambitions to ensure that there was a grand coalition, but the parties that came to the table were not forthcoming. So you cannot blame Citizens Alliance for that.
Your party mobilizer this past weekend released a very angry statement condemning the IEC, going quite personal on the chairman and Sambojang Jai, calling them less than impartial and blaming them for what he saw as a farce. Was that well advised, or is that stoking fears and possible credibility issues ahead of the results coming out?
Well, that was not an official statement from the party per se. The party makes a statement through its spokesperson. But I think that particular mobilizer you're talking about was speaking in his personal capacity as a...
Do you endorse it?
The party did not endorse that.
No, you personally as the leader, do you endorse what he said?
Well, I did not listen to the entire video. I saw it and then I knew it was his personal Facebook page and he was speaking in a personal capacity and not representing the party's position in that speech.
So what next for you and the party? Are you going to resign as leader? You've lost them at your first attempt at launching yourself on the political platform. You failed. You're going to resign.
If the court had ruled that we were wrong and that we acted irresponsibly and not following due process in submitting our nomination papers, then perhaps I would have thought about that. But then again, it came out that we were not wrong, that we were wrong. In fact, we did what we were supposed to do and that the IC failed to do what they're supposed to do. So I think that shows that the fault wasn't ours. So going forward, I think we are now immediately after, on the 7th of December, we're launching our campaign for National Assembly elections.
Finally, the country is on edge. We've got 4 days to election day. What would you say to your supporters?
Well, to stay calm at all times, to know that these are high-stakes elections, to be peaceful at all times, and to accept the results, because obviously...
You snigger?
No, what I'm saying is that we've set a precedent. For the first time in the political history of this country, a political party takes an electoral management body to the courts and won. It means that now the judiciary is well and functioning, and it can be trusted. In fact, the manner in which the case was expedited was surprising to me. So it means that anybody who loses these elections, and then you have cause to believe that there are malpractices that went against. So if we go to the courts, what we are trying to avoid is post-election violence in this country, which will not be in the benefit of anyone.
And that's Ismaila Ceesay, leader of Citizens Alliance, speaking to me earlier today. Well, ahead of Saturday's election, the leader of the Gambia Moral Congress Party, whose nomination was also rejected by the Independent Electoral Commission, has submitted additional documents to the body. Candidates must provide at least 200 signatures of endorsement from each of the country's 7 regions. But it was ruled that Mai Fati had failed to provide enough of them for the Banjul region. The court ordered him to submit additional documents in order to join the race. But is it even possible at this late stage? Omar Wali reports from here in Banjul.
Campaigns will close in less than 72 hours, but the former Gambian Interior Minister, Mai Ahmed Fati, is still adamant that he was wrongfully excluded from the race, and he is not giving up with his ambition to join it. The court ruled that his rejection was a violation of the law and ordered the Independent Electoral Commission to regularize the violation. It also required Mai to fix the apparent errors in the documentation he provided. Mai is determined to stand as a candidate, but is it not too late for him?
Well, I do not know how it could be late, because the court order is very clear. It states you have wrongly excluded them. Go through your processes and regulate. Following that, you should give them equal opportunities that you gave other candidates. So if that is the case, I don't think we are late. I am not looking at what the IEC is doing. I'm looking at what the law says IEC should do. And what the law says is that, the court order state is that IEC must give us equal opportunities. It accorded other candidates before us in order to exploit all the opportunities and enjoy all the rights that those candidates enjoy in terms of the electoral and electioneering processes.
While the Gambia Moral Congress leader waits for the IEC's decision, other candidates are wrapping up their campaigns. And the Electoral Commission says it will challenge the court's decision to let him run. What impact does the initial rejection have on the party and on the rival Citizens Alliance, whose candidate Ismaila Ceesay was also barred from standing? That is a question I put to Esanjai, a political science lecturer at the University of the Gambia.
It is considered a violation of their constitutional right to contest election. It has an impact on their parties, for instance, because they've been preparing fully well for this election, especially Citizens Alliance, invested a lot of resources and also time and energy. So the IEC rejecting them, really could demoralize their political strength, especially the Citizens Alliance coming for the first time on the political scene to test their strength. Having to be rejected really will be bad for the party, but also the candidates themselves.
Citizens Alliance won the battle but lost the war, with their nomination ultimately rejected by the IEC for the second time. So if the Gambia Moral Congress isn't able to fill a candidate, will their leader back another party's candidate?
Well, I'm not thinking about that, because I believe that I will contest. So I don't have a second option. My first option is the only exclusive option, to contest as candidate on behalf of GMC. I don't have any other plan B.
The IEC's impartiality and its ability to conduct a credible and transparent election is being questioned by many in the country. So do Gambians have confidence in their electoral body?
Looking at 2016, the errors that occurred nearly caused conflict in this country. So from a personal perspective, I believe there are a lot of issues that the IEC need to work on. I believe they need to put their house in order, because what happened in 2016 should be a landing point for them. I am a little bit skeptical with the independence of the IEC, whether they will be transparent and fair enough as they always say.
IEC, to my own perspective, they are not independent. Considering the circumstances we are living in, I just take an example of Dr. Ceesay and Mai Fati. These people are innocent, but IEC deprived them of their rights. And I believe it is already too late for them to go for campaigns. It makes people doubt the IEC and their capabilities. Like all the people I met, all the people I've discussed with, they have this fear in them that this upcoming election won't be fair, because IEC has already proven that they are not capable and they cannot conduct free and fair election.
We've seen in 2016 what happened, announcing two presidential results at the same time that send thousands of Gambians and non-Gambians out of this country. So if they're starting at the wrong footing this year, we are skeptical what will happen come December 4th or December 5th. But nevertheless, it's never too late. We expect them to buckle up their seatbelt.
The IEC has admitted making mistakes in the past, but says that doesn't mean they can deliver fair election this time around. Pamakan Khan is the Commission spokesperson.
Despite some few hitches, we've moved on, and those things will be a thing of the past. And that's 2021, one of the most credible elections ever conducted by the IEC in terms of its transparency, in terms of its fairness. The Commission is fully poised, is in full gear to make sure that it is conducted according to law and is also conducted to meet the expectations of the Gambian people.
Citizen Alliance and other parties not allowed to stand this time around will be back to fight another day. But for the IEC, which has won as many enemies as friends over the years, convincing people in the Gambia that it is a reliable body will be a huge task in the coming days, weeks and months.
And that report was by Omar Wali, who actually joins me here in Banjul. And Omar, you were privy to the 2016 general elections then. What difference with the campaign now?
Well, the difference is Gambians have realized that their votes matter because they removed Jammeh through the ballot, and that led to the huge political participation in this year.
You got your ears to the ground in about 10 seconds. You think an upset is in place?
Well, yes, because some political party leaders are beating the drum of violence. So if that continues, that's what's triggered fear among many Gambians.
Okay. And finally, I mean, how pivotal are young people going to be to this election? Are they going to decide it, you think?
Well, yes,